In today's news, all cabinet members survive the no-confidence vote. The government kills the Happy Plant Party, and more heavy rain expected across the country. All this and much more is coming up in today's program.
Thailand News Today is brought to you by 5-Star Marine.
Happy Monday. You're watching Thailand News Today, bringing you the latest top stories in Thailand and beyond. My name is Jet Gunther, and in our first story, after intense censure debates over the past 3 days, Prime Minister Prayut and 10 other cabinet ministers have scraped by and survived a vote of no confidence, maintaining their positions and avoiding censure again. Minister of Commerce Durin Laksanawisit had the least favorable votes, with only 241 votes in his favor and 207 against, with 23 abstaining. Deputy Prime Minister Prayut Wongsuwan received the most supportive votes of confidence, with 268 in favor and 193 against. Often maligned Minister of Public Health Anutin Chanvirakul had a rousing amount of support, with 264 in his confidence, the second most of any minister. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister fell in the middle, receiving 206 votes of no confidence against 256 votes in his favor, with 9 abstentions from voting. To officially receive a vote of no confidence, the minister would have needed to receive a total of 239 votes against them, amounting to half the total number of members of parliament. Minister of Interior Anupong Paujinda received the highest number of negative votes, but with 212 comfortably avoided the no confidence label by a margin of 27 votes. PM Prayut declared after the vote that he had no intentions of shaking up the cabinet as a result. This censure debate was likely to be the last one of Prayut's tenure, as a general election is expected next year, though the Prime Minister could call for a by-election before then by dissolving the parliament. Thailand decriminalized the growing, sale, possession, and use of the sea plant last month, with very few rules or regulations in place to manage the newly legalized plant. Now, government officials are taking steps to rein in on the widespread popularity of the plant, with a new resolution to ban all forms of cigarettes that use the extract. The National Tobacco Products Control Committee put forth the resolution, which would ban the sale not only of electronic cigarettes or vapes that use the plant extract, but also traditional cigarettes and cigars that use the plant, including joints. The ban would severely kneecap the recreational use of the Happy Plant, which has run rampant, with about 1 million people getting a certificate to grow, sell, or use the plant, and shops and stands selling joints and other related products springing up all over the country, especially in tourist areas. Minister of Public Health Anutin Chanvirakul chaired the meeting where the decision was made. The Ministry of Public Health will now formalize regulations to create new guidelines for the ban on infused cigarettes or e-cigarettes, the latter of which would also fall under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Digital Economy and Society, as well as police forces. Anutin commented to reinforce that the government and the Ministry of Public Health have always been against the recreational use of the plant, and that the original draft bill that led to the decriminalization of the plant never explicitly mentioned the idea that recreational drug use is permitted. While it is still illegal for minors, sensational stories of children getting access to cannabis products and people suffering seemingly extreme maladies as a result of consuming the newly legal plant have poured across Thailand's media and social media.
Choose your trip to your favorite island with 5-Star Marine. Go to 5starmarinephuket.com.
Once again, more heavy rain is expected to pour down on most regions of Thailand today and tomorrow. The Thai Meteorological Department says the monsoon trough is lying across the lower north, upper central, and lower northeast of Thailand. Meanwhile, down in the country's south, there is a moderate southwest monsoon over the Andaman Sea and the Gulf of Thailand. In the upper Andaman and throughout the Gulf, waves are expected to be about 2 meters high. In the lower Andaman, waves will also be 2 meters high but are expected to rise about 2 meters high during thunderstorms. The department has warned all boats to be careful. This week, Thailand's monsoon season wreaked havoc in Bangkok, where the rainfall was record-breaking. It was the highest rainfall recorded in 67 years in some areas of the center of the Thai capital. Rainfall measured at the Queen Sirikit Convention Center in Klong Toi district on Wednesday night was 132.5 millimeters, surpassing the earlier record of 108 on July of 1955. Over 100 millimeters of rain poured into Klong Toi and Bang Na, which are the central districts of Bangkok, on Wednesday evening. People in some areas had to get out of their cars and wade through floods, while one university even suspended its lectures. One university professor has warned that Bangkok needs to fix its drainage system before September, since floods could likely escalate from September to October. Thai officials are on guard for monkeypox as the country upgraded its alert levels to the national level today. Public Health Minister Anutin Charnvirakul called an emergency meeting today after the World Health Organization declared monkeypox a global health emergency. This news comes after a Nigerian man, who was the first person recorded with monkeypox in Thailand, escaped to Cambodia. The man had been diagnosed with the virus in Phuket, but when officials went to his condo to take him to a hospital, they discovered that he had fled. The man is believed to have then swam across the Sakeo River to Cambodia, where he was arrested yesterday. Phuket health officials say they have tracked down people who came into close contact with the man. The Phuket Public Health Office said 2 of the 19 had recently tested negative for monkeypox, while test results for the others would be known in a few more days. Anutin said health chiefs at today's meeting believe the man had not spread the virus, so Thailand is still safe. He said that disease control officials around the country are working with border checkpoints to screen travelers for the virus. The Medical Services Department says it has enough vaccines to protect Thailand from monkeypox. The vaccine is reported to have been in cold storage for 40 years now, but the department said it was still viable. The department added that it also has sufficient medicine and facilities in case a monkeypox outbreak happens. Anutin has said that COVID-19 prevention measures are also effective against monkeypox, which spreads more slowly than COVID. Thailand has recorded a jump in COVID-19 related deaths and serious cases throughout the past week. The Public Health Ministry said this morning that there have been 2,390 more coronavirus inpatients and 29 new deaths in the past 24 hours. The numbers are up from Monday, July 18th, when Worldometers reported 1,814 new cases and 17 new deaths. As of yesterday, 24,700 people were receiving treatment, including 12,290 in hospitals. Out of patients being hospitalized, 874 were seriously ill with lung inflammation. The number has risen over the past week from 786. Last week, a doctor at Bangkok Sirirat Hospital said the number of people with lung infections made up about 8% of COVID hospitalizations. Meanwhile, the number of patients relying on ventilators went up from 349 to 409. Thailand is seeing a so-called mini wave of coronavirus infections, especially in Bangkok. While there have been reports of around 2,000 cases being reported every day, some doctors have claimed that the actual number of current infections is more like 20 to 30,000 per day. Despite the world seemingly getting back to normal, the World Health Organization is warning that the COVID pandemic is far from finished. And that's all for our report from Thailand News Today. We'll be back tomorrow. Meanwhile, you're now up to date on the Thaiger.